Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
I'm going to lead off today's show with a very important question for Jay Hay. I would say over the past weekend, we had an experience, not we, like we weren't physically there, but like we, I guess we're privy to, we saw, we witnessed, we experienced it in that way, an event that may or may not threaten Meg Braden's status as the most famous Braden. I don't know that the person threatening is quite on that level yet, but like things keep happening this year that are boosting this individual's, let's call him, I don't know, Dallas. I think that there are things that have happened this year that have boosted his Q score. Again, not quite Meg Braden status, but like things keep happening. Where are we at on that race?
I mean, the chest grab transcended the sports barrier for sure, because my mom asked me about that one and said she knows I do the podcast with Jared and Dallas, but you know, the voices, and she knows Dallas does the A's game. But yeah, that one transcended. So that was a huge push forward. And now this one, I mean, this was on every single social media. I mean, this MLB tweeted it. ESPN was on it. A rival podcast, or quote unquote rival podcast networks were tweeting about it. Reddit was all over it. I mean, this is, I dare say that, you know, a Braden Family Feud rerun would be just kind of rebranded as a Tournament of Stars.
Yeah, I think it's hard to disagree at this juncture. It really is. You know, it's not one of the, so like, put it this way. Meg got to the top with talent, whereas Dallas's star has burned brightest because of circumstance.
What? Like, one lucky day at the office, right?
3 lucky days, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, basically 3 lucky days at the office.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's.
I mean, do we not see the common denominator?
You wait your fucking turn. You wait your fucking turn. You know, you could point to Mike Trout hitting a foul ball in his direction, complete luck. The boob grab, he had nothing to do with that. Right place, right time, complete luck, and then his perfect game, complete luck. Like there was what has he done? I guess is the question that I'm asking. What have you done to deserve this?
Very few strikeouts in that perfect game, if you'll recall.
How many was it? Like 4?
Yeah, it was like almost none. 6?
It was 6. Almost none.
Yeah,
like, it was at the point where I think it would have been more impressive if he didn't strike out anyone and still threw a perfect game.
It definitely would have been. It was 6. I've confirmed that. I've checked the box score. It was 6. But in 27 batters faced, you know what I mean? He got like 27 batters, struck out 6 of them. So a lot of work from his fielders. So just, you know, back to the basic question, kind of like
a ton, 7 innings worth of work, some would say. Dallas,
yeah, sure. I'm here.
Yeah. Come on in. Yeah. So this past, was it yesterday? It was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday, you're in the booth.
I have a lot of great things happen to me daily. Whoa, you're gonna have to be specific.
Yeah, I believe it was Sunday, September 7th, that you were in the broadcast booth for the A's, and one Mike Trout, someone that you have slandered endlessly on this podcast, hit a foul ball back to the booth. Glad were there windows? I mean, obviously there were no windows at the time, but is it like a sliding window? Is it just always open air? What's the deal?
Sliders.
Sliding glass windows were open on that day, and you made a bare hand, one hand grab of a Mike Trout foul ball live on television. That Mike Trout, I saw sign the baseball.
Yeah, so not only did he sign it, but it was communicated. Hey, yeah, I saw you catch it. And if you watch the video of every video posted, you'll see Mike Trout, he fouls it off, looks back, and then turns and then looks back up real quick. And he said, he's like, hey, I saw your ass jumping around. Like I saw you catch it. Like I saw you. And fucking Sevy coming on the plane. I get on the plane, you'd have thought I won fucking game 7. I got on the plane, and Stephanie was like, "Yeah, and a boy." And I was like, "What? Oh, I did." Like in a brief moment, I was like, "Why the fuck are they clapping?" And I was like, "Oh no, that's right. I'm the fucking man.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm the guy.
That's right. Yeah, it's me. I'm the guy." Yeah, but Stephanie was pumped. I was like, "You saw it?" He's like, "Yeah, I looked up. I saw you fucking running around." Because I may have in the moment got a little excited. I think you can understand why. The best part, and this is honestly, this is what a baseball season will do to you. And when you spend every single day with people, this is what it will do to you. Is, as people know, Johnny Dasco, our radio announcer, caught a foul ball earlier this year, and I have been just getting absolutely crushed by Law Dog, because Law is the one who fucking hit it to him. And so Law's been giving me shit about, like, not only does he have a foul ball, but like, bro, greatness hit him the foul ball. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. I'll think about you next time. Like, they've just been wearing me out this entire season. And it finally happened. And I kid you not, I caught the ball, and the first thought in my head was, fuck you, Johnny Dasco. That's right. That's right. You son of a bitch. I told you it was going to happen. We came into LA, and I sat down, and I sat down, and I looked at the desk. I was like, and I looked over at Chris, and I looked at JR, who's our award-winning stagehand. And I said, it happens here, boys. It happens here. And they just started laughing, started chuckling. So as soon as we had a moment, as soon as we went to commercial, I fucking grabbed that ball, ran over to the radio booth, and just smacked the shit out of Johnny. And I scared the shit out of him. But he got up, gave me a big old hug. It was great. But I texted him too. We went to dinner last night. Had a great dinner. Had a great time.
He loves dinners.
He loves a dinner. Has not missed many dinners. Has not missed many snack times. He is not one to miss any sort of food distribution. So wow. we were, and at the end of the night, I just told him, I was like, I want you to know that the best part about this for me is knowing that when you watched that ball sail into the booth and you watched me secure it, your entire mood was ruined. You would have a lesser day from that moment on. And just I could feel this motherfucker coming off of you as we showed you on TV. And it was great because he goes, you're 100% correct. I fucking hated you in the moment. I absolutely hated you. So it was a great day. It was great. And you're right. He did. He signed it. Nice catch. Thanks, Trouty. Appreciate you.
Wow.
Super pro.
Wow. Dallas catching that ball was like Jafar getting the lamp in Aladdin. Yeah, it was just like, fuck.
Well, because what he says,
the one guy that we couldn't let get the lamp
got the beard too.
Yeah,
but he every radio broadcast, Dosky, anytime a foul ball comes up near me, his go-to line has been, and I've found this out because fans are like, bro, he's incessant. He does not stop. He is all over you all the time. But his line is, perfect games, those are cute. And so he's heartbroken that he can't say that anymore. That he's like, well, it's gone. You've killed it. You've killed it's cute for me. I have nothing. I have nothing left.
That is cool. The Trout sign. How did you get to Trout? What was the story there?
Oh, I text the PR guy to let him know. I was like, hey, can you just make sure it's cool? Because I don't want to, because look, it's Trouty. He's got a ton of shit going on after the game. And to respect that, I'm not trying to walk into the clubhouse and then have him come out into general population and sign a ball for me. So then he's fucking hounded by other, like I didn't want to do that. So I just reached out to their PR team they're great. And Trouty was basically like, yeah, I was waiting for this. Like, I knew you'd be sitting this fucking ball.
I knew. I've been expecting you, Mr. Braden.
Yeah. So I just did. I was like, hey, so I caught the ball, and they're like, yeah, no, we got you. Trouty's in 100%.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I was just like, God damn.
Trust me, I know. Hey, you and everybody else, I know why you're here. I know why you're here. You're not here for the fun ride. You're here waiting for the fucking crash at the end. That's fine.
I mean, in fairness, the whole ride has been the crash. This is the ascension. Like, I'm witnessing the ascension from the Flames that has been the Dallas Braden experience, at least on the media side of things. But I had no doubt that, like, if it was in your general vicinity, you were going to catch it. Like, I never, if it was in your catch range, it's getting caught. Like, no part of me thought that you would flub the moment. Like, I never thought that if you had a ball hit back into the broadcast booth that you would somehow like fumble fingers it. Like, it just
earlier
that was never going to happen.
Earlier in the game, there was a ball hit above me, and I fucking jumped, headset off, monitor down, scorecard like just almost ripped out of my like is a yard sale in the booth because I'm leaping for a ball. It's fucking 20 feet from me. I have no chance at this ball. It didn't even come into the booth. It hit off the awning, but that's where I'm
very
at
professional,
mentally.
by the way. Yeah.
Yes, very professional, Jay. Very professional.
Well, so I have to ask now because I'm, you're a very what?
No, we were talking about Dosky and his eating habits, and he just texted me right now. I may have overate last night, man. Struggling today. Still a little stuffed. Because we sat at sushi for like 2.5 hours, just fucking hammered like schools of fish.
You can let a sushi night get away from you real quick.
Yeah, and
you'll pay for it in the end, though.
It absolutely got away from us.
Yeah. So I have to ask this question, Dallas, because you're young enough. You have many years ahead of you in the broadcast booth. If you catch another ball, is that something where you kind of belittle your broadcast partner and say, here you go? Or is it something where I'm like, I'm going to keep a tally of how many balls I catch and have like a kind of like a leaderboard?
Well, I mean, Jared, you know me. Am I one to, I'm not one to bring it back up, right? I'm not one to rub it in or like dig it deeper. I'm not that kind of guy. So, I would probably, I'd probably just, just a gentle reminder. I think each and every day, like, hey, I know we're all after something today, and today may be your day, man. And I know we all have goals. We all need to try to get somewhere. And I understand if, number 2 for you is what it is. Is that what gets you up in the morning? Great. How can I help you achieve this? Right. Cause I've been there. I know what it's like. And that's what I wanted to tell Johnny too, is look, welcome to the club. He's not yet in the club because he might have caught the ball, but I caught it and got it autographed, future Hall of Famer. So yeah, I mean, when you get there, let me know. Well, I'll welcome you into that club. But no, Jared, it's not something that I would be keeping track of at all closely,
sure.
On my desk at all. No.
Is there any play? You don't have to name names. Is there any player in baseball that had they been the one to foul it off into your hand that it would have lessened the moment?
No, to be like, this is in all honesty, they're quite literally playing right now are only 2 people that could have hit me that ball. There's only 2 people that could have hit me that ball. And it's Mike Trout and it's Shohei Ohtani. Those are the only 2 people that could have hit me the ball that make it what it is right now. That's it.
It is kind of like a fuck you, Dallas kind of moment that it happened to be Mike Trout. Like
Mike Trout. Fucking Trout. Come on.
Yeah.
Do you think Ohtani's going to hit one at you now to show the world that Trout's not that special?
Hey, Jay, I'm hoping that somewhere in his heart he can find time to do it, because the skill, I have no question, is there. It's just if he can find time to bring me into the fold. And I'm not asking Shohei to do anything special here, but if he could.
Just fillet one right into my hand,
right into my lap.
Yeah, like if you got a foul ball from Delos Christmas, I don't know that you're as excited. It's not as cool.
No, Dela Christmas is not moving the needle the way that Mike Trout is.
No, but my picks are for the Underdog Fantasy app.
Hey,
I will say that. Yeah. Yeah, Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats like strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. So I have a little bit of a confession to make as it pertains to my picks. So I enjoy the process of making my picks, but I am so lazy. Like my podcast studio is on the second floor here, but I like to go downstairs in the morning. I feed Ace. I take him out, and I like to sit at the kitchen table to make my picks. I'm too lazy to go upstairs and get my laptop and bring it downstairs. So I had Underdog sent me a laptop maybe a year and a half ago. So I had Jake configure how to set up the laptop for me last night. So I'm going to have a laptop that is just dedicated to my first floor, which is literally just dedicated to making my picks every day. I have a laptop specifically for pick making.
I think you having a laptop specifically for pick making that stays on its own floor exclusively for that use is maybe the most relatable thing you've ever said.
But there's no algorithm here. There's no like proprietary process. It's just
that computer has to run the algorithm. That's why it's a very powerful computer, and that's why it does its own thing. You've got it all wrong, Dallas.
Is there any worse feeling than being on a floor, but the thing you need is on a different floor?
Side note. This is why your neighbor wants you to cut the fucking trees down. Do you understand? That kind of shit right there is why your neighbor don't give a fuck about you. I just want you to understand.
Dallas, what's today? Friday, I believe. Friday.
Today's Monday. Oh, never mind.
I'm telling you a fucking story, you pothead fucking idiot. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. So Friday there was a big storm. And one of the branches did come down.
Oh no!
Like a 10-foot branch, a big one.
That's
so. Guess how many times she called me and guess how many voicemails she left me.
7 calls, 5 voicemails.
10 calls.
That's strong.
7 voicemails.
Hey, but to her credit, a storm, maybe bad service. She didn't know how many of them went through. That's all.
7. And I believe it's illegal to play them without her consent.
Yes.
But let's paraphrase here. I called the police about the tree. The tree came down. She is so fucking plastered in these voicemails.
Really?
Yeah. And I will tell you right now, there's a 85% chance that she's watching right now. Like I wouldn't put it past her that she listens or watches every fucking episode of the show.
I've been the one defending you. I've been the one that's trying to get Jared to see your glass and how it could be also perceived as.
Yeah, I love you, lady. Biggest fan. Biggest fan. Woo!
You.
She's probably your biggest fan, Jay.
Yeah.
10 fucking phone calls and 7 voicemails. All of which fucking borderline blackout drunk on the voicemail.
Well, I mean, she's going through a storm, dude. You're supposed to just kind of hunker down in those moments. What do you want her to do?
Yeah, I will give her credit though, because I think she called the police about the branch that fell, and they removed it because I had texted my lawn guy and been like, "Hey, big branch came down and was wondering if you guys did like branch removal," and he was like, "Yeah, I can be there in the morning." But the town came and took it, and I was like, "Never mind." That was probably gonna cost me a couple $100
for sure.
Yep, town took care of it. Shout out to the town.
So it came down in the street.
It came down on my fucking property.
Oh well, then what is she bitching about?
I have no idea. She just wants a reason to talk to me. That's literally it. She just wants a reason to talk to me.
So the branch fell in your yard and she's calling you about getting it removed?
The branch fell. It was all in my yard, but it was going across the sidewalk, which again, like is not really her concern at all, but it was on my property and then it was going across the sidewalk, and then she said that the police told her that the branches all have to come down, which just didn't happen. Like, there's no way that like, they were standing right there taking care of the branch. If it was that urgent, they could have just knocked on my door that was 20 feet away. So she just got shit-faced and saw an opportunity to try and get me to pay for the branch or tree removal that she is responsible for.
I love her stick-to-itiveness. I love her persistence. Like, this is something that you need to start to appreciate in a weird way. Compartmentalize it, but appreciate that this woman is not giving up.
That's fine, because I'm the king of like petty battles. Like, I will outlive this one for sure.
You know what you should do? You should plant a full row of trees right next to your fence line.
Buddy, there are plans to barricade my home from society for sure. Like, so I was out there this morning, like, you know, simple enough, because I live on like a main road there. I was out there with Ace this morning in the front yard, and some dude like ran by. He had his headphones in and he was on a run, so he didn't stop, but he ran by and he was like, Rocket. And I was like, I don't really get Rocket anymore. I get like Jerry Superfan. I like the name that's not my name that I get called changes like every like 4 or 5 years. So like Rocket has become less and less, and I get like Jerry more now.
I'm doing Rocket still, just so you know.
Yeah, like I can tell like when you entered my life by what you call me, and like Bob Fox like still calls me Rocket, like KFC still calls me Rocket. But like this dude just yelled like Rocket, and I was like, "What's up, dude?" And he like pointed to his headphones. He's like, "BID, BID," and I was like, "Oh hell yeah!" Like that stuff is cool. Like I don't mind that at all. But my neighbor harasses me, and it's a fucking nightmare. I don't have anyone that lives on the right side of my house. I don't have anyone that's behind me. I have one, and my neighbor directly across the street, their house is so far set back that I've probably seen them twice. And then the only neighbor that I have harasses my life. It's fucking crazy. But
she's an arborist.
Yeah. Yeah. Very passionate about this tree. You know, I might just fucking cut the whole tree. I don't care. I'll cut the whole tree down.
You want petty? You know what you do is you cut the tree down and then stack the wood in front of her home.
Like, you know those trees that they kind of look like blunts?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to do like a fence around the house, but then also those giant blunt looking trees to create like a 40-foot wall that it just goes around the entire house.
Yeah.
Like Cypress. Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
You need to look up the cypress too. Those are very just boom. They get big. They can bush out based on how you manicure them. You just put a fucking green wall.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. I want an enclosure. I want an oasis in my backyard.
Dude, the house in Stockton, it has cypress that line the water line, like right before you go out onto the dock, so people across the river can't see into the backyard. It's just cypress, and then I told you I got fucking 8-foot fences on the side because I can't.
How much do them trees go for, Dallas?
I don't know. I can tell you they're not cheap to clean up. I can tell you that. But yeah, if you get them,
I'm paying my mom. She can come over here and clean that shit up.
Oh Jesus! Well, Christ. I mean, I don't know. If I was charging for the trees, Ellen could get that wood for free. But I'm thinking that we could
Jesus fucking Christ, Dallas.
What? If I had trees, I would sell them to her for free. I wouldn't sell it to her.
That's crazy.
Jared, you invited Dallas into your home on that joke. You invited him in.
Fucking.
What?
I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it.
I would give her whatever she needed.
You invited You're defending him, Jay? You're defending this behavior?
I'm not saying it's in good taste. I'm saying you just
it's
left
in
yourself
poor
splayed
taste.
wide open on it.
What? Oh,
Poor
my bad.
taste.
Trying to help a neighbor out. Trying to help a friend out. I'm the
Jesus.
asshole. I'm the bad guy.
Well, I mean, there's certainly not a lot of good behavior happening to me recently from anyone. So
just say you know who loves you. You know who your friends are. Your mother loves you. I mean, I don't know why I'm the bad guy here. Like I would be more like, do you understand? Like, stop it. I can't even believe I have to explain this to you right
now. Anyways. Yeah, that's my only complaint about this place is
the person that you live next to.
Yeah.
Well,
and
it's not the
like
only
I said,
complaint. We've detailed the complaints pretty consistently here over the last 6 weeks, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's fair. The Hornets are gone.
It's only present complaint.
So the Hornets
are gone, squirrels are gone, neighbors still there, gone. Trees still a problem.
Well, the mice are gone as well. The mice are gone. We found out where they were getting in, and we fenced that off with like some like metal fence. Like they're not going to get in there. So
yeah.
Other than that, it is what it is. I don't even care if she hears this. If you call someone 10 times and leave 7 voicemails, what do you expect how do you expect the person to react? Are they gonna be like, no, that's fine. That's super normal. Dallas, in a 2-hour window, by the way. It was from like 6:30 to 8:30 was the window.
You know what? I'm not even afraid anymore. Yeah. I'm not afraid anymore.
You can't bully me anymore.
I'm not afraid anymore. You hear that? I'm not afraid anymore. Yes. just trying to convince himself. You know what? I don't even give a care if she hears this. I don't care. I don't care if she sees this. Send it to her. I hope you're recording. This. Oh. I'm attracted to a lot of different guys.
Yeah, wow. I don't know how that's relevant to the conversation, but.
Oh my God.
Perfect. This
oh fuck. I can't even breathe.
This woman at the Phillies Marlins game, huh?
yeah. God, your neighbor.
You want to talk about
that
women? What a nightmare women stories. They keep going.
Yeah, tell us more about why you hate women, Jared.
Advanced aged women behaving poorly.
This lady went to the Phillies game and drove all the way back to turn Jared's neighbor's house and went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Mm.
Yeah. What? Hey, I mean, do people need to go to an etiquette class? Do people need to learn how this stuff goes? Like the foul ball situation.
Yeah.
Like, come on. And I'm just echoing what we've all, I think, understood, and it's because we're fans of the game. We've been to a lot of baseball games. But if you haven't been to a baseball game, this is how it goes. Ball up in the air, it's a free-for-all. It glances off your hand and or glove and or face. Maybe it's got mustard from your hot dog on it, but it's rolling around on the floor. That anybody can get that ball. That's anybody's ball. Should you catch the ball, like clearly catch the ball in your hand, in your glove, and then someone comes over and rips that ball from your hand or your glove, your possession, well, now it's street legal to get pissed off about that. That's not cool. That's not right. But should that ball not be safely secured by you at any point in time? Like, boom, off your hands, off your chest, off your chin, into the guy's lap who's sitting next to you. Guess what? That's his ball. That's his ball. And he can do with that baseball whatever he sees fit. And if that ball indeed finds its way into the hands of a child, You like just full stop. Like, sorry, you can't. That's not what you do. I just couldn't believe that this lady went to that extent, like to start ripping these people in the stand. And then the fact that the dad was like, you know what? Here, see ya. And she was like, thank you. Thank you. I don't think she said thank you. I honestly didn't really listen to what she had to say, but I was just so like, it was like one of those, like, I think I want to shower after watching that. Like, I feel gross for that person. I don't even know how to like, I don't know how to make sense of that shit. Like, I can't believe that is that where we're at in society?
Put it this way. I think the woman was basically saying it landed where I purchased tickets. So because of that, it's my property, which is just wrong.
No.
And I don't think that this woman had someone with her to tell her that's not how this works. So I think we all have a person in our lives, or plural people in our lives, who once they have a thought in their head, they just believe that to be the truth. And this is how it goes no matter what. And they can't be convinced otherwise. That was this woman who was just like, I know that if a foul ball or a home run ball comes to where I bought a ticket, like I bought this seat, it landed in my seat, that's my ball. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it's ever worked. Make a play, or if you don't make the play, then it's up for grabs. It's whoever grabs it, and that's how that goes. That's how it's always been. And nowhere, I think, has it been written that if a ball is hit to your seat and then ricochets somewhere else, that person has to return your property. Like, when has that ever been a thing? That's just not a thing. I think the one thing, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but if I were the guy, I'm not giving her the baseball to make her go away. Nope. I'm simply turning my back to her and daring her to do something about it when I know that there's cameras on me. What are you going to do? You're going to rip it out of my hand? You're going to hit me? Like, what are you going to do?
Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not daring her. You know, like
I'm not saying hit me, but I'm turning my back to her, and like I'm inviting. Like, sure, like if you're gonna do something about it, like just know that this is being recorded.
That's how I would look at it. Is I'm inviting you to receive an education. That's what I'm doing. If you'd like to talk this out, I would be more than happy to explain everything we've just explained right now. I could do it in 30 seconds. We could do it on the way up top to go grab a beer. How do you want to do this? But I'm going to educate you, because I need you to walk away from this situation knowing next time you come to a ballpark, this is how you should actually react. Because I want you to leave the ballpark with the excitement of getting a foul ball, but I also want you to leave the ballpark with the excitement knowing how excited you are if you get this foul ball. But typically what we do here, like people our age, if we get one of these things, we try to find a kid to give it to, because like the excitement of being here and what that all can mean to you, right? Like, let's grow this game. But if you need to go home with it, okay, go home with it. That's no problem whatsoever, especially if it lands in your lap. It's your first ball game. You'd like to go home with something. I totally get all of that attached to it. But that's what I would have been doing, is waiting for the moment to say, ma'am, let me explain to you how this actually works. And that's what I would have done.
I get it. I get what you guys are saying. To me, I don't give a fuck about giving that stupid lady an education, like in the moment. And I know Dallas is saying one thing, and maybe you would actually do another. But like, he was with his kid, right? And so I give the guy a lot of credit for very quickly going through the math in his head about what was worth it and what wasn't, right? And
it was his birthday.
I understand. And what lessons he was potentially interested in imparting to the woman or his child. And yeah, giving the woman a lesson so that the next time she comes to a baseball game, she can't be wildly out of control with her behavior is certainly
she's
one
not
option.
coming to a baseball game anymore.
Right. But
she's way too like physically identifiable. Like people will be
question.
Like, you're the,
even though
you're the
there was
evil
the
woman.
Misidentification thing. But like, but this guy, it is a nice example of this guy doing the right thing and subsequently being rewarded for it, because there are lots of stories now about, Harrison Bader, brought them in, gave them like cool stuff and all of that. I'm sure I've lost track of the number of, follow-ups that this kid has gotten. They've done interviews, all that sort of stuff. And like, that is a nice turn of events. I can't get the father's initial reaction out of my head of everything that happens when the woman puts his hands on her hands on him, and he goes back. Bugging. It's like out of a fucking movie, man. It's like he's like, oh, I'm like, did you know she was coming? And obviously he didn't, but like it was like it was so like. It was so genuinely startled. It came across as like preposterously startled. Yeah. And it was like, and I just like, yeah, I think I'm showing less grace to the woman than you guys are, maybe, because you guys are talking about like not knowing things. And to me, like the idea that you aren't 100% certain on something and still behave as if you are 100% certain on it is so indicative, not to make this a society thing, but like it's so indicative of where we're at, and that this woman like was literally behaving in an insane fashion. I have never in my entire life approached another person with that level of insanity in a confrontation before. No person, related or unrelated to me. And that she did that over a foul ball that visibly went to a child is insane. And it's a rare case. I don't want the lady's life ruined, but I do think like you should absorb a level of shame over this, because that's like crazy, obnoxious behavior.
It absolutely is. And to your point about not wanting to go down this like societal rabbit hole, but that's what I asked, like, is that where we're at as a society? But think about, and this is like, as a parent, I think about this because I do in that moment, I want my child to understand that us not giving this ball back to them is the right thing to do. You are okay if that is what you want to do. We don't have to give this ball back. Just because this individual is screaming and is out of line, that is tantamount to you, buddy. If we were in the grocery store and you wanted a candy and I told you no, and you just laid down on the floor and started kicking and screaming, is daddy buying you the candy? You know the answer to that, right? Don't you? Well, yeah, Dad, of course I do. You're probably grabbing me. You're probably pulling me up off that floor, and we're probably briskly making an exit, or there is a stern talking to coming right now. Yeah, you're right. So at no point are you getting what you're after in the moment. So like teaching a lesson, do you just want to move on? Do you want to, so in that moment, to your point about him doing the calculus and thinking to himself, look, I don't need this. It's my kid's birthday right now. I'd much rather him see me behave in a way where I have just sort of quelled this situation. I have done everything I can to get this person out of our orbit so we can go on about having a nice night. And if that's what, and it will be, that child goes home with, great, because he went home with a lot more after that, right? But I think it's still okay. It would still be okay if that father looked at her and said, lady, fucking beat it. You have no idea what you're talking about right now. You need to get out of here, or I will have security come down and let them know that you are harassing me and my child. And I'll let them explain to you why you are so out of line. And then I can turn to the child and say, you're going to learn at some point in time that people don't care about anything other than themselves in the moment. And you have to be aware of those people, and you have to learn how to handle those people. And in a situation like this, where there are cameras, Jared, and there is help to be had, stand your ground, stand up for what's right, and you can get help if you need it. But in this situation, you are not wrong, and we will not be acquiescing.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier to say it when you're not directly in the situation, but I think I just know that I know how stubborn I can be when I know that I'm right. And I would not, like, being a baseball guy, like I don't have to be like, wait, is there a rule that, you know, if it goes in your seat, you have to like, I know I don't have to give her the baseball, so she wouldn't have gotten the baseball. It's just very simple. And also, if I'm the father, I'm not like, you know, critiquing or criticizing the father for the way that he handled the situation. He diffused it, and that was his choice. But for me, I think the lesson that I would be teaching my son is you don't have to back down to bullies. Like, you don't let them win, you know, like, just because she's louder doesn't mean that she's correct. Just because she's more forceful and angry and she's so convinced that she's correct, that doesn't mean that she's correct. That doesn't mean that I should reward her behavior or it doesn't mean that I should give in to make her go away, because at the end of the day, like, am I fearful for my life right now? No. Like, I might get like a scratch or a claw or a slap or a push or something like that. That's the worst that's going to happen to me. But like, I'm assuming the Marlins security is going to step in at some point if this continues to escalate. So I'm not worried about it. You're not getting the baseball. You don't deserve the baseball. You're clearly revealing yourself as a shitty person. So why should there be a reward for you just because of how aggressive you are? I don't get that. So again, not criticizing the father, but I don't think I would have given her the baseball knowing that I am 100% correct here for not giving her the baseball. Yeah. Especially if it's my son's birthday. Here you go. Well, happy birthday. I'm not taking the ball out of my son's hand and handing it to this woman. I'm just not doing that. But I also did want to give a shout out to the Marlins because, you know, I think Harrison Bader gets a lot of respect and praise for how he handled it. And, you know, he ended up meeting the father and son after the game, and you get the signed bat and the photo op and all that stuff. But the Marlins came over. I mean, even though they were Phillies fans, like they came over with like a goodie bag, and they recognized this was a wrong, and it's not our responsibility to have to right this wrong. But we feel like, you know, we want to give the fan a great experience. You're in our ballpark, so like let's try and make this better if we can.
And the best part about this, and I believe from what I've understood about the mind and how the personality works and how multiple, you know, differences in personalities, this individual, if she was still present in the ballpark and in that area and was watching the Marlins come up and hand out the goodie bag and make it right, kind of smooth things over. If she's watching that in the moment, she's asking questions to herself about why it's happening. She's then probably answering those questions about why it's happening. And there's a solid chance, if she has any shred of fucking decency whatsoever coursing through her veins, that she is realizing in real time, I think I'm the shitbag here. I think this might be on me, because why would that fan be getting more stuff from this baseball team if I am clearly right here? Because I know I'm right. I'm clearly right. Why aren't they giving me more stuff? Why am I not being applauded for standing up for myself and getting the ball that was rightfully mine? She's had this explained to her now and re-explained to her in ways that she didn't even know she could have it explained to her. And she's watching this come across her timeline now with frequency, and she's realized, damn, I'm a fuck up, aren't I? That's on me.
And not to make this like a right or wrong thing, because I 100% hear what you guys are saying about the give the ball back not, and I think I don't think there's a right or wrong here. But to me, what you're saying right now lends itself to the idea that the dad did make the right decision, because she got the education because he gave the ball back, right? And they all those gifts and Harrison Bader and the onslaught and stuff like that, that woman's getting a lesson that father single-handedly could never have provided her in 15 seconds or in the 30-second exchange when the ball was being squabbled over and he had to make those split-second decisions. So again, it doesn't really matter. This is just an interesting thing to break down, but like, well, to me, this lesson is more impactful for this stupid lady than anything else she could have gotten.
Because now, let's be honest, if you're that lady, and again, you have any shred of humanity inside of you whatsoever, when you wake up the next day and you look at that baseball, what does that baseball now represent to you? What does that baseball mean to you? Outside of an ugly reminder of what a horrible person you were in a moment. That's what that baseball reminds you of now. So you want to keep that baseball on the mantle? You want to tell the story about how you got that ball? Is that what that ball is to you now, today? That's what that is? Because good luck.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad.
Tough scene to fight over a ball and then eventually have that ball turn into something you don't even want to fucking look at. Because it reminds you, man, what a scumbag I was.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very interesting situation. And I mean, like, think about someone like Steve Bartman. right? Like when everyone is like, well, don't like publicly shame her. It's just, maybe it was a bad day. It's like Steve Bartman's life got ruined over a baseball.
Yeah.
And that was over 20 years ago. Still haven't seen him since. Even though the Cubs tried to welcome him back. If
like
I were Steve Bartman, legitimately ruined. Like if
whole life derailed.
The Cubs being like, well, we won the World Series, so come on back. I'd be like, fuck you. Okay? Yeah. Fuck you.
So I said, buy me a house. That's why my whole thing. Yeah, buy me a house, set me up for life, and maybe I'll listen.
Yeah. So I can come back and throw it a first pitch and be part of your ceremony, like just a little just a like accessory to your celebration. Like fuck you. Yeah, but yeah, this woman, I'm sure it's not a fun spot to be in if you're the individual in question here, because the internet is a very unforgiving place, and I'm sure that I haven't looked. I don't care to know what her name is, but I'm sure it's out there, and I'm sure the internet sleuths are like, this is her name, this is where she works, this is her house, this is her phone number. Yeah, that stuff is crazy.
People are trying to get her fired and shit. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down. She deserves to be able to go to work and live a life.
She's going to have a tough go for a little while. Yeah. I think it's going to be a somber Christmas at the Karen household, but I think she'll be able to turn the page next year. And
she's got to lean into this and give all the kids in her family baseballs for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you lean into this.
Have to. It's imagine, let's just say she's 54 years old. Imagine making it in this life 54 years, but you have your defining moment that deep into this run. Like you'll always be known as the baseball Karen
over something so stupid.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. You can never, she's got to turn it on its head and go full, like, I want to give everything I ever get at a baseball game to somebody else. You got to just become this baseball tooth fairy where you're just, here you go.
Like when Netflix does the 30-minute documentary on this story, I don't think that they're going to find people from her life being like, but she was always such a nice person. Like, I don't know why. Like, she obviously
never saw
sucks.
It coming.
Yeah, she definitely sucks in her day to day. Like, you're not going to be like, I grew up with her and, she's always been so sweet and charitable and she donates her time and money and she plants trees and it's like, no, like she's a huge bitch. Like this is not shocking whatsoever. She's someone that very mean all the time. Like
she definitely eats other people's lunch at work and doesn't say anything about it.
I can't see someone being other than this a very nice, very good person. And then this is just a bad moment. Like this is that like you cannot be a good person and then do something like that, especially when there's a child involved. Yeah. It doesn't equate. And if people do have nice things to say about you, then congratulations. You were just really good at hiding it for 50 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, cool. I have a family too. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Delete Me. Oh, she should check this shit out right here. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at any time. When surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make anyone vulnerable, data brokers can make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity. Anyone on the web can buy your private details, and this can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment. But now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. What do data brokers do? Your name, contact info, social security number, home address, even information about your family members could all be compiled by data brokers and sold online. The New York Times Wirecutter has named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. Yeah, if I were this individual, I would want my data removed from the internet immediately. I don't want the people that are very clearly trying to find it. I should make it more difficult, if not impossible, to find it. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. That is now at a special discount offer to Baseball is Dead listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/BID and use the promo code BID at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to deleteme.com/BID and then use the promo code BID at checkout. That's deleteme.com/BID, promo code BID. What was the other big thing that I want to get to today? Because I'm up against the clock. Oh, yes. Well, there's a couple things, but I think one is more important than the other. The sign stealing stuff. Why is it? Are you hearing like murmurs of nefarious behavior with sign stealing, Dallas? Because like, what is the league saying at the batting cage? Like, because I know after the Astros sign stealing, like you would think, like if let's say the Astros never got caught, let's say the story never gets broken, and we are sitting here having this conversation, and you told me right now, a lot of guys around the cage, they're saying that there's cameras in center field. They've got a guy sitting at a desk looking at video. The signs are getting decoded with this program that the Astros apparently created so they can figure out the signs, and then they're watching, and then they're reeling it to guys in the dugout who are then banging a trash can to relay signs to the hitter at home plate. I know it sounds crazy, but like that's what people are saying. I feel like if it weren't for that coming to light and being like, oh fuck, like that actually did happen, then because this happened, because it was confirmed, because we know it took place, there's got to be paranoia throughout the league now with PitchCom. Like have teams tried to find a way to hack PitchCom. You've got guys standing at second base, they're relaying signs, that's fair game. But then you've got guys at home plate being like, huh, are they really that good at picking up pitch tipping? Or is there something more going on here? I don't know. But I was just curious if there was some scuttlebutt.
I can tell you that what teams that have the resources to do this, and teams that have allocated the resources to do this, have identified this as a way and a frontier, and maybe it's a final frontier, but a way to study and identify differences in delivery. And
you shouldn't be able to use AI for this, right? Like do we have written into the rules? Yeah, like, because I genuinely don't know.
There's nothing on the books right now that says that artificial intelligence cannot help you. No.
Okay, so we need to have a fucking talk at the end of the year, because I think that if you have teams that are running every single pitch, like we've got Traject. So now I can go and I can face a pitcher. I have his mechanics. I have his movement. I have everything.
What you're getting ready to say has already happened. It's already there. That has been happening for a long time. What you're talking about is running a pitcher's setup on the changeup 1,000 times, running a pitcher's setup on the slider 1,000 times, running the setup on the fastball 1,000 times. And then the computer comes in and identifies, all right,
here are the changes. Here are the differences.
This is the differences. Glove height, separation away from the body. These are like to the point where you have individuals who are studying, and this is something that is not new. Okay. This is not new at all. What I'm getting ready to tell you, where they talk about, you see how I'm moving my fingers and you see the muscles, the different muscles.
Yeah.
right?
You can see. Yeah. Yeah.
So based on which fingers I'm using to go to the ball, based on which extensors you're seeing start to move around, you start to think about, oh, well, he's grabbing the ball with these fingers because I'm watching these muscles move. Like that's something that has been talked about and looked at and utilized to whichever extent capable forever, for as long as they've been doing
crazy.
Oh yeah. But now what we're talking about is having the technological resources to hone in on this. So Jared, instead of you as a hitter, right? It's a great example. The Red Sox are coming into town today in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And what the Red Sox could, what Team X could be sitting down with today in their advanced meeting, and what players could have received already in transit to this series. So while they're on the airplane, they can be looking at a PDF of all of the pitches and all of the setups from a home plate view, from a third base view, from a first base view, from a center field view, and a tight shot as well of what these setups look like. So that you, if you're a hitter and you value this, this is available to you. Here's a packet full of how this man just sets up when he throws his changeup, what he looks like when he throws his changeup. Here's what he looks like when he goes to the slider grip. Here's what it looks like when he is set with a fastball. Here's what it looks like when guys are on second base with runners in scoring position. That's there. That has been a part of the scouting process. If you do so feel that you can close the gap between you and your opponent by doing that, teams have long been doing this. That is why when we talk about having the resources from ballpark to ballpark available, and when we were talking about this in Houston and all of the cameras around, you have the cameras around, and that's now available to you to utilize however you would like. And if you're capturing information and you're capturing data every single time a pitch is thrown, well, it's up to you. How do you use that data? So I'd like these still shots. I'd like these tight shots, and I would like these to be distributed to my players. I don't care who wants them. They're all going to get them. If you want to look at them, great. If you don't, so be it. But you will have this because you're not going to be coming into this environment unaware, unprepared, uneducated about what we're doing and who we're doing it against. A la Ref Snyder telling Aroldis Chapman, hit the target.
That's Wong.
or Wong, sorry, Wong. Connor Wong. Hit the target. Throw it here. Oh, yeah. Shit. Really? Oh, yeah. This is happening. So, and something else you got to think about too is teams are aware of this, and to go out there and act like you're relaying signals just to start a fire. Because I watched Naylor do it when we were in Seattle last time.
That's gamesmanship in baseball is unlike any other sport.
Oh, like
the way that you can fuck with the other team, you can't do it in other sports. You really can't.
If I were the Astros, at home, I would be planting that seed the minute I get a runner on second base. I would be fucking around planting that seed, creating that unease, creating that apprehension, that anxiousness. Like, fuck, do they have me? Like, if while you're going through your thought process on the mound, at any point in time, the thought of whether or not we know what's coming enters your brain, I am here for that. I want you to have to do that mental gymnastics for 9 innings or however fucking long you're going to be out there. I want you to have to do that. Fastball in. Fuck, do they know what's coming? Slider away.
Baseball is a lot like, remember that game Battleship?
Oh, yeah. Battleship song.
Yeah. Baseball's a lot like Battleship.
C4.
Yeah. Yeah, because once you figure it out, you can sink that battleship real quick, you know?
Quickly.
It's like, fuck.
Yeah, is this C4 or is this D? What am I doing? Yeah. Oh, it's there.
Jay, you have any thoughts on this?
No, I just think this whole thing's fascinating. I'm not sure I realized the extent of the the stuff that was readily available to players. I had suspected like what might be going on kind of in the deeper realms, but that, everybody has that sort of stuff available to them, I think is legitimately interesting.
Just reading through this article here, Jay, like everything that I just said, they're talking to Scherzer, and it says Scherzer threw his changeup 17 times over 4 1/3 innings and admitted opponents had told him they can figure out from first base when he throws the pitch. So you heard that. And this is Scherzer's response. I thought I had addressed it. I thought I had made the proper adjustment to get my glove in front of my face, but clearly I hadn't. And then it follows up. The next line is Scherzer threw 3 changeups to Ben Rice. Judge didn't signal on the first with an 0-2 count, but spread his arms before Rice took a changeup on the 6th pitch of the at-bat to work the count full. Judge spread his arms again before Scherzer followed up with another changeup, which Rice fouled into the last row in the right field second deck. After that, first baseman Ty France went to the mound to alert Scherzer. Rice fouled off a fastball and a curve, then drove a fastball 380 feet into the right center seats. And so, to the point, Scherzer's now out there wondering, fuck, do they have me? They have me. I'm trying to make the adjustment. Now I don't even want to throw that pitch altogether. To hell with tipping it. It's not even an option. So what has happened? A big league hitter has now just been able to eliminate part of the arsenal of a future Hall of Famer. That's going to make his job that much easier at the plate. Should that future Hall of Famer not be able to execute the other pitch he's decided to go to instead of the pitch that he would like to go to, you now have him attacking you with potentially the second or third best option, and it results in a fucking tank. So that is precisely the mental impact of even wondering whether or not they have your pitches can have.
Very funny line later on in the article. Bellinger acknowledged he had signaled Judge to alert Rice. That is correct. That is what's happening, Bellinger said. like you're not supposed to acknowledge that. Like, even though it's not, it's fair game. It's, yeah. It's kind of just an understood thing that you just don't like.
I love that though. God, I can't tell you how many different ways I love that. And especially coming from Belly too. Because right. Like a veteran guy who understands and it's almost like the question is asked and they're waiting for some sort of fluffy, cute way to dance around it. And he's like, that is correct. That is exactly what we're doing.
I mean, it's not illegal.
What else do you?
Yeah.
So do you feel bad about it? Do we feel bad about having an idea of what he's going to throw because we're smart enough to pick it up and we've done the homework and we're studying and we have the information? No, I don't feel bad about that at all. Not at all. Feel pretty good about it, actually. Took a lot of hard work from a lot of hardworking people. And we came together as a team and have identified a way that we could separate ourselves from the competition.
Last thing I want to hit on, you guys can continue as long as you'd like after I'm gone, but I did want to talk about Cal Raleigh and his home run pursuit. I don't even know, like, what is he in pursuit of? That's
Greatness.
The first question. What is he in pursuit of? But for me, I was going to ask you guys if you care, because I do, and I don't. Maybe it's just because I have like a connection to Mickey Mantle where I don't know. I'm fond of the player and his story and his legacy. I don't know how much it matters to anyone else. Maybe it matters to Mariners fans. Maybe it matters to Yankee fans. Maybe Yankee fans won't even care. I don't know. But Cal Raleigh, if and when he ties and passes Mickey Mantle for the most home runs in a single season by a switch hitter, that will be notable to me. Like, I will have felt like I witnessed history if Cal Raleigh passes Mickey Mantle for that record. And the way that I look at it, 60 is obviously a very cool milestone. I think it's great. But for the American League home run record, when Judge did all that and they fucking paraded around the dumbass Roger Maris's son, what was his fucking name? Roger Maris Jr.? Was he Jr.?
Probably. Yeah, I think he's a Jr.
Yeah, when that fucking idiot was going around the country, like, I don't know. I feel like passing Mickey Mantle for the most home runs in a single season by a switch hitter is more of like a cool milestone than the American League home run record. You know what I mean? That's not to take away from Judge, because I love Judge. But what I'm trying to say is I feel like the single season home run record for a switch hitter is, to me, more prestigious than I think it's going to be treated when it happens.
It's because you understand and you have already admitted to valuing and holding closer to your heart the idea that Mickey Mantle did it as a switch hitter. So it's like, this is a club that not everybody can join. This is a club not everybody gets to be a part of. So those who can be a part of it, what do those performances look like? Well, now you have a switch hitter who is potentially knocking on the door of tying, maybe surpassing that record. That is really cool, especially because it's held by the Hall of Famer, who for all of us feel like is an inner circle Hall of Famer in Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely allowed to attach a little love to that, and because it's cool. It's like Warren Spahn being the greatest left-handed pitcher and them having an award for the greatest left-handed pitcher of the year, right? Like, that's just, I like shit like that, because you know who can't win that? You know who can't win? A right-hander. I love that. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. So
I'll admit,
this.
if the all-time single season home run record for a switch hitter was held by like Lance Berkman or Anthony Santander, I wouldn't care that as much or maybe at all that Cal Raleigh was like, then I'd be focused on 60. I would care less about the switch hitting record and I'd be like, can he get to 60? But because it's Mantle, it's the combination of what you said, Dallas, like he's an inner circle Hall of Fame guy, but also just because it's something that stood for so long. There's been so many great switch hitters that have come since Mantle, and no one has been able to pass in a single season what he's been able to do. So yeah, I think it's because of who he's passing and how long the record has stood for. Like, that's cool to me.
Yeah. And I think that is more than okay, more than understandable to view it that way, to process it that way. That's what I think has a lot of people excited about it, is because they are, and maybe not as clearly, but I think they're combining the lore behind the chase to 60 and 61 and Mantle's involvement there, Mantle's overall cachet and what he comes with, and just how cool it is to even be in a conversation with a guy like that, with a name like that. And not only are you in that conversation, buddy, you've got a whole lot of us pulling for you to be that dude, to be the name that we're talking about, right? So when the next switch hitter comes up, we can talk about, man, you remember the run that Cal Raleigh was on in 2025, chasing down Mantle, the most switch hit homers that we have seen since the fucking Mick, like that. That's going to be cool. That's going to be that's a great feather to have in your cap, man, if you're Cal Raleigh, no doubt.
Jay, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think we've just taken switch hitters for granted, and it's as they presumably, I think they become more rare over time too. I haven't looked at the data on that, but I feel like hitters are largely discouraged from doing that as they make their way up the minor leagues, and at the first sign of kind of failure or just baseball in general, it's all right. Let's focus on, you're a left-handed hitter now. Like, let's stop fucking around or whatever it is, and pitchers that can throw with both hands are considered, damn near circus freaks, and hitters that can do it from both sides are just kind of afterthoughts at this point. And I agree with you, and I'll admit to probably not giving it enough thought in terms of the context of Cal Raleigh's season and what I appreciate about it. And the target numbers that you're talking about, because I agree now that you have brought it up and we've talked it out a little bit, that I think it should be, I think it is at least as interesting, if not more interesting, than the most home runs by a person whose primary position is catcher. Have to word it that way, right? So I'm with you, Jared. And it's the Mick.
Yeah. Right. Like, again, like if it was Carlos Beltran, it's like, all right. Well, even Beltran's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, there's just like if Shane Victorino had a Brady Anderson season and hit 56 home runs or something like that, it's like, all right, cool. I don't know. Just doesn't mean as much. Like the fact that it's the Mick and it's been around for 60 something years.
Yeah.
66 years. I'm not the best at math, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we'll get there.
We'll get there. All right. I gotta bounce. I don't know. I don't have any final thoughts. Other than tune in Tuesday night. Justin Havens, Coley Mick, Connor will be on with us for some Rangers ball. Just the Nuts. Tuesday, I want to say we'll start at like 7, right? Like kind of like when the East Coast games start. It was a very successful stream the first go around. For anyone that doesn't know, our guy 2K Jeremy, he came up. We on the fly we said we need a home run horn to go off when someone hits a home run on Just the Nuts, and I said it needs Bon Jovi. And the fact that he was able to cook up, like it was perfection on the fly with no heads up and minimal time to put it together. Just nailed it on the first try. That's why he's the best in the world at what he does. So we ended up firing up the Bon Jovi home run horn. And for 3 hours, you can only watch one game. So you need the playback app and an MLB TV login. You go into playback, and then when you log in with MLB TV, you can watch the games that we're watching, but you can only watch one game at a time. So we would be going like the Mariners game, then switch back to the White Sox game, and then switch to the Blue Jays game. And we would miss a home run by mere seconds for 3 hours. We probably missed 9 home runs, just dying to hit the Bon Jovi home run horn. And when there was one game left on the slate, the Twins and the White Sox, the most uninspiring matchup of the slate. We waited until the 7th inning, and Kyle Teal finally hit a home run. So we had no choice. We couldn't have missed it. It was the only game left. We finally got our Bon Jovi pursuit was conquered, and we will be chasing some Jovies on Tuesday night, the second edition of Just the Nuts. Dallas Braden promised that because it'll be Red Sox A's, he promised that he will pop in during commercial breaks every now and then if something notable happens during game action. So you got Dallas popping in for a cameo. Connor will pop in for a cameo for the Rangers. You got Jay Hay hosting, Coley Mick. I'm there. And also some former players saw Just the Nuts and said, I would love to pop in for an inning or two. They thought it was fun and exciting. So they want to get into the mix. You never know. You never know who you're going to see on Just the Nuts. So tune in on Tuesday night, 7 p.m., wherever you get your streams. Gentlemen, as you were.
See ya.
Hey, now. Jay, something I would like to address is a few races that we have that have shaped up and are heating up, and it looks like for all intent and purposes will be tight down the stretch. You've got the AL East, you've got the AL West, and you have the NL West. I don't believe there is any one of those divisions as we sit right now that are separated by more than 3 games, I think. If I go back and look, yeah, we've got the Padres. Dads are trailing the Dodgers by 1 in that division. The Jays have a 2-game lead on the Yankees as we woke up this morning. And the same can be said for the Houston Astros, who have a 2.5-game lead over the Seattle Mariners with, I think, anywhere from 17 to 18 ball games left to play, depending on who you are. One of the first questions I think I have is, did we expect these divisions to be as tight as they are right now at this point in time? Are there thoughts that we had at the beginning of the year about what these races could look like that have changed drastically? What do you think about how these races have shaped up at this point in time with where they're at? Like, did you think that the Padres at this point in time were still going to be within the striking distance that they are? Or was there thought that, are we going to see another taper off effect? Because we talked a lot about what their bullpen is capable of and how much they can keep them in ball games down the stretch. And here we are, 1 game out of the division against the mighty Dodgers.
Yeah, I'll try and go rapid fire here on the 3 divisions that you hit on, starting with the most recent that you talked about, Dodgers, Padres. I think I said after the trade deadline, my belief, my expectation was that as currently constructed, available players, these were similarly talented teams, and that's not to walk away from the statements at the beginning of the year about how dominant the Dodgers were and could be. We all know how that's actually played out on the field. I would still take the Dodgers. I did take the Dodgers at the time, but I anticipate and still think that this division is going to be close for the remainder of the season. I just don't think that there's a lot separating these versions of the teams over the rest of the season, like talent wise. I do think that ultimately the Dodgers are going to win, because I feel like, and that's the case, I think, for all three of these divisions, actually. Like, I haven't necessarily seen anything from the team leading the division that makes me think they're going to surrender that over the remainder of the season. Like, that doesn't mean that it can't happen, but I think from the time that we potted at the end of last week until right now, like, in terms of percentage odds and stuff like that, I want to say very little has changed, like, in the shape of these races. And the deeper we get into the season, 2-3 back, that looks very attainable. But when it's 2-3 back and it's still that after an entire weekend or 3 or 4, it starts to get a little bit more dicey. The one I think is the most interesting, at least right now, is the AL West. And it's mostly because it just seems like between the Mariners and the Rangers, like, there's been an opportunity to seize it, but neither team has grasped the moment. And, like, I can't even imagine. The Rangers is one thing. Like, I know Connor's frustrated, but they did just win the World Series, and, like, it's kind of a beleaguered unit in a lot of ways, particularly from the pitching side. But if I'm a Mariners fan, I can't even wrap my head around how frustrating this entire experience is. And I know I flippantly said last week, like, oh, the rotation, like, if they get the rotation, but like what is it going to take for this franchise to just, like, make the postseason and just, like, be in and just comfortably be in the postseason? Because we're told that they have this great rotation, and individually all of the pieces still have various levels of attractiveness to them. Although I think across the board, I think with the exception of Brian Wu, everybody's stock has taken a little bit of a hit this year. With
some injury, we're like
for
respective to some of the injuries. And I can agree with that to an extent, because I have no problem reminding people that I am the voice that you are probably waking up to in the morning, hearing if the starting rotation, and I have no problem with that, because in my opinion, that is exactly what has happened, is they have pitched well enough to keep themselves in the spot that they're in right now. And I know that they're, the last couple of series, they just took a series against was it the Braves or the Rays? I'm trying to, I think
the Mariners just played the Braves. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Rays before that, they got swept by the Rays and just won the series against the Braves. But like a series against Tampa Bay, like, you can't get swept in that series. So to your point about how does this team just comfortably make the playoffs? Well, I think it's in a series like that where you feel like you should be winning that series, not getting swept. And what do you got?
No, I guess when I said, like, comfortably make the postseason, I guess I meant more like on paper they have this generational rotation, right? And most of them have stayed, like, you haven't been fully healthy, but it's not like it has been an across the board devastation on the season for the pitching side. You have a season that we just spent time talking about, a generational season from Cal Raleigh. Julio Rodriguez, after a slow start offensively, is probably putting together, in a lot of ways, an overall tremendous season. We can sit here and debate after the season where it ranks among his most valuable, but he's probably going to set a career high in homers. And it's just, it's an entire package from Julio, like a semi-generational talent. Like, how many of these sorts of pieces do you need to fall into place before, like, something good happens in terms of team results for the Mariners? Like, I'm not expecting you to provide an answer. It's more just an existential question that it's like, so you've had Randy, depth. You've had Ken Griffey Jr., you've had Edgar Martinez, you've had Felix Hernandez, you've had this season by Cal Raleigh, you've had Julio Rodriguez, you've had all of these other pitchers, and probably lots of people. Ichiro, I didn't even say fucking Ichiro. Like, you've had all of these guys, and, like, it has resulted in, like, bottom line, basically nothing as it relates to postseason success.
Is it fair to say that the depth after those names that you just mentioned, though, and that's where I think the lack of how they get to the postseason, what makes them a comfortable shoe-in, that is what they're lacking, is the depth because outside of the names that you've mentioned, when you start to look at guys who are going to take 400 plus at bats, or maybe just get to that 400 at bat mark, because here's the thing, Polanco sitting right now, 407 at bats. The next closest amount of at bats to him is Ben Williamson with 277. So when we start to cut the line at Ben Williamson and go from there, there's only one other guy who is, I guess, serviceable, maybe two, in Dominic Canzone and Donnie Barrels and Donovan Solano, that are providing what you would need in terms of depth. So when your off days come for your stars, are these guys that you can plug in and sort of get the production you're looking for? And I don't think that has been the case. I'm not singling out Dominic Canzone and Solano specifically, but depth in totality is what they're lacking.
I agree. I also like, and I'm going to like go off the hinges a little bit, because I don't even really know what point I'm making here, but they've gone out and got Randy Arozarena. He has been productive for them. He has not been a star. He's been like the notch below a star level player. He's been very good. Josh Naylor has been excellent since they acquired him. I know they have not had him for long, but that's another piece that they got to supplement the current team that is a guy who's a real Major League Baseball player who doesn't suck, right? Eugenio Suarez has not been particularly good for them, but that was another effort made to go out and get a supposed power impact bat to improve the current state of the team. So like, I understand the names of the guys that you rattled off as being maybe not adequate for the roles that they are playing. But like, I feel like the number of excuses that are made for the Mariners, and I don't know why this is, and maybe I have a wrong perception of it, but like, they have gone out and gotten these pieces, and it just feels like in the end, you're just throwing something into a ship that has holes and all the water. Like, I just don't understand why this doesn't net out to be more than it is. And if they can't take advantage of the 2025 AL West with the seasons that they're getting aforementioned, I just don't know when it's ever happening for this team. And baseball's weird. It can happen in plenty of seasons. We already talked about how the AL this year, like the bar for entry, like, hey, you got to win 85 games and you can be a wild card team or whatever. So it could happen in any year is the answer. But is it ever going to align in terms of talent performance better than this? Well, is the pitching staff getting better than this moving forward? Like, Luis Castillo is a borderline liability right now. I would not feel comfortable starting him in a postseason game. I don't really know where we're at on Bryce Miller. So you have Brian Wu, George Kirby, and Logan Gilbert. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that I feel like Brian Wu is the safest start for a game one of a postseason series? I don't even know.
I think, yeah. I mean, well, I am absolutely partial to this. I have no problem admitting that, but I think Brian Wu comes with everything that you are looking for when it comes to starting a series. You want somebody out there with brass balls. You want somebody who gives not a single fuck about what's happening at the plate. He is all about what he's doing in his mind, and that's attacking the other guy. And I think that is a great way to start a series, especially with his shit. So Brian Wu, for me, I have no problem running him out there game one. And I think to an extent, any order of those three is more than adequate. But when I look at what the Astros have been able to do in this division and the consistency with which they've been able to do it, I go back to one thing, and I go back to the depth. And that's why I think they have had the stranglehold that they've had on this division for as long as they've had, is because they have gotten production and performances from everywhere up and down that roster, not just some of their key players that have shown up. So I think that's a hurdle that the Mariners will eventually have to clear, but I hate that it's an excuse as to why they're not doing what we think they're capable of doing. Unless you have anything else to say on that, Jay,
no.
Have you been paying attention to what the San Francisco Giants have been doing? Have you taken note of that?
I mean, I know what they're doing. Are you trying to sell me on something here? Are you trying to sell me on something?
No, not trying to sell you on it. Just, the conversation is really, it's about the Friars, it's about the Dodgers, but the Giants would ask you to wait just one moment, please, because they don't believe they're fully out of this thing yet. What are they, 7 out of the division? Yeah, no chance. Is the wild card Is the wild card a possibility for them as they sit right now, 4 out in this same division? Is that something that is even closely attainable for them? Because they've been playing a decent brand of baseball here lately.
Can I ask you a question? Are you
Please.
being paid by Rob Manfred to promote on behalf of Big Wild Card? Because this is, you did this with the Reds a couple of weeks ago, and by the way, the Reds promptly went into the toilet after you
shit the bed,
tried to tout them, and now you're doing it with the Giants 2 weeks later, 4 back. I think it's the same number of games back. Here's how I feel about this. If the season were starting over today, I would feel just as good about the Giants as I do about really any of these other teams that they might be chasing. But the math on 4 back with this number of games to play is just it's just brutal. And, you can quibble with the specific numbers, but Fangraphs has them at 2.9% to make the playoffs. And 2.7, 2.8% of those are via the wild card, obviously, as you alluded to. So you could double, triple, quadruple, you could 5x that percentage, and you'd still be staring at an incredible uphill battle. What I think is interesting about their schedule in terms of path forward to do it. Now, granted, they lost the final 2 in St. Louis to kind of take some of the air out of this idea, but they have a very polarizing schedule in terms of like the product that those teams could be putting out on the field, perhaps. They have 6 games against Arizona, obviously with a divisional opponent, and Arizona still having some talent. You don't necessarily know what you're getting there. They have 7 games against the Dodgers, which is obviously not great. Because, to your point, like if you were directly chasing the Dodgers and you had 7 against them, sweet, man, like Giants Dodgers, like let's do this. That's not really your path to the playoffs. So what you're really doing is just playing one of the best teams in the league 7 times over the remainder of the season. But
they are in the middle of that path though, Jay. Because you've got the D-backs, to your point, D-backs coming up, and it's the D-backs and Dodgers for the next 2 weeks, basically. Right. So you are staying in that cocoon of the West. I just think like, and then the final point, I guess, is that it's 6 with at home against the Cardinals and the Rockies. So you have this nice slide out of the plane at the end of the season if you are in a position to take advantage of it. I don't know that they've done enough up until this point to put themselves in a position to take advantage of it. Like, honestly, I feel like the tone of this conversation is maybe obviously completely different if they don't flop on Saturday and Sunday in St. Louis. Like those are both 1-run losses. That's one of the teams that you're going to have to end up really taking advantage of down the stretch in the 3-game series. So I think the Giants, for various reasons, are as interesting if they get in as some of the teams that they're chasing, the Padres and the Mets being those 2 teams. But I just don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah, and I would respectfully disagree. I don't find the Giants interesting at all. I don't find them interesting. I don't find them interesting at all. But they are playing. They're playing like right now, and that's these 2 things can be true at the same time. They cannot be terribly interesting, and they can be playing good baseball right now. I mean, you got Devers, who's swinging a hot bat right now. Chappie, who I believe is suspended at this point.
I completely agree with you.
Guy, Drew Gilbert.
I completely agree with you on like day to day. I think the Giants are like one of the most blah teams in baseball, like not necessarily good or bad, just they are a baseball team. But if we're talking, what I meant was more like intriguing from you're in and now what are we dealing with sort of standpoint, because we have Logan Webb, who's up, whatever, left unsaid. From our podcast standpoint and our network standpoint, like Rafael Devers being in the postseason and that potential drama, or the Schadenfreude of him failing or succeeding would be kind of interesting. And then on a very distant third level, like I talked about how I still want to see Justin Verlander in the postseason. And all he's done since then is, I mean, I think we had the conversation coming off of you might have missed this podcast actually, but it was a quick chat coming off of the 10K performance, and then he went out and had another scoreless outing that it was in some ways even more complete because he didn't walk anybody in this start. But so that's all I meant about the Giants thing. I agree with you. I don't think there's a lot of juice to them day to day.
Yeah, Verlander, his last 3 starts, 1.06 ERA over 17 innings, 21 punch-outs, just 6 walks, and has not allowed a home run. And I think that is something to be excited about because, I mean, not only were the homers an issue, but just overall effectiveness. So for him to be essentially performing about as good as you could hope for right now at the most important time for the Giants, you'll take every bit of that.
And I know that this is like, it's just so cool that it's been such a theme in 2025 for this podcast, and justifiably so, that we're going to have another podcast where we already talked about Max Scherzer on a legitimate topic. We just talked about Justin Verlander, and I've got a nug teed up whenever we get to that for Clayton Kershaw, and that we're still doing that in 2025 brings a smile to my face for sure.
It sure does. I just took a look. There was a stretch this year, a 9-game stretch for Justin Verlander, where he did not allow more than 3 earned runs in an outing. And he went 0-4.
Yeah.
In that stretch.
I mean, it's going to be
3.31 ERA.
It's going to be an all-time season to look up at the end when he has, I mean, he's got 3 in 25 starts right now. So, you know, he gets 3-4 wins total on the season, in 30-ish starts. That's going to be kind of wild because his ERA is like league average.
I mean, the team was 2-7 during that 9-start stretch. He doesn't allow more than 3 earned runs in any one of those starts, and you win 2 of those ball games for a fucking future Hall of Famer. Ugh.
Yeah, in terms of run support, the Giants have provided 0 to 2 runs of support 13 times in his 25 starts this year. He is 0-8 in those starts.
Oh,
tough.
Hang with him, JV. Hang with him.
I got one more for you before we get to final thoughts or nugs, unless you had other stuff. But I just
nope. Fire away.
To pay off a story from last week that actually did happening, and as the resident pitcher here, I just want to get your quick knee-jerk reaction, emotional or physical reaction. Kodai Senga was optioned to AAA, and per his contract, he needed to approve that decision. So a mutual decision to option Senga in early September on a contending team to AAA. Plan, it sounds like, is to get a few bullpen side sessions in before he appears in the game. I guess per Mendoza, he's going to try and start next weekend. So just your thoughts on the Senga demotion.
I think initially you are wondering, well, what does this mean for the future and his entire future with the club? Because I hate to put a guy out to pasture, but I mean, we're talking he's got a 5-year, $75 million deal. There's still 3 years left on this thing. Or 4 years left on this thing?
No, 3. This is the 3rd year of the 5-year deal. So there's 2 after this year. Yep.
Okay. And we are at a point right now where this team is headed to the postseason and potential, and we don't have a guy that we're going to be needing to count on. I think this is like the worst thing that could happen to you at the worst time.
Yeah. And a guy who yeah, and a guy who, again, like we were just like a blink of an eye ago, had a sub-2 ERA. And like, I know it's not, this isn't about ERA, your bottom line ERA. This is about his mechanics being all over the place per the report. And they're hopeful that they can get that cleaned up. But, again, if he's not starting until this weekend, like a real game in the minors until this weekend, that's the 12th, 13th, or 14th, depending on when it happens. And so then we're 2 weeks out from the end of the season.
Well, and let's not overlook the fact that a trip to the minor leagues, which, I mean, that season is that, I believe the season's over, close to over, unless you're going to have the opportunity to, you go pitch in the playoffs. It's not a big deal to Senga per se, but the idea is, what sort of environment are you going to be in that is going to give you the confidence that you're after to get back to a point where you think you are going to be able to help the big league team? And sometimes what can happen is you go down to the minor leagues, Jay, and you're trying to touch some things up and trying to feel your way through some things. And maybe you get a false sense of security because things that don't require the same execution at the big league level, kind of get you out of some trouble in the minor leagues. And now you have gotten through your outing. You feel like you're healthy. And for the most part, you feel like some of the adjustments you made paid off. But then you remember, or you are rudely reminded when you get to the big leagues, location matters. And if I'm not executing, they start to eliminate things so much earlier than the guys in the minor leagues do, because the guys in the minor leagues just don't have that acumen. And what you could find yourself is really right where you were when you sent Senga to the minor leagues, trying to get him to recapture form. And you find out that may have been a fruitless endeavor. So I hope for the Mets and I hope for Senga that there's something to be gleaned from the bullpen sessions, because they need him.
Yeah, I mean, so the rotation without him is currently scheduled to be McLean, Tong, Peterson, Holmes, and Minaya. You know, I don't know that I really feel appreciably differently about that, given how well Nolan McLean has been pitching, and you know, I guess the idea of Jonah Tong translating some of what we saw, but yeah, tough. That's two. Yeah, that's two.
I know. Very young, very green guys that we're sending out there to start and pitch in big postseason games.
I understand.
But you know what? That's the stage, Jay Hay, and this is the environment where stars are born. Why can't those two dudes go out there and for the remainder of their season and the remainder of their workload be exactly what this team needed in the face of losing a guy like Senga? This is where those storybook Cinderella type of seasons start to unfold, is you have nowhere to look. This is what we've got. Who can step up and who can perform? And if those two guys are ones who step up and are able to get them through this Senga storm, how fucking sweet would that be? Mets are always looking for a narrative.
That's right. That'd be pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. You got
Final
anything else?
Thoughts? What do you got? No.
I got some nugs.
Please.
Here we go. Open up wide. The only players in AL history to hit more homers than Cal Raleigh's 53 for the Mariners this season: Judge, Maris, Ruth, Fox, Greenberg, A-Rod, Griffey, Jose Bautista, the aforementioned Mickey Mantle, and David Ortiz. Joe Adell hit his 35th homer of the year. I think we were doing some Joe Adell content last week. The last 5 names to have 35 or more homers in a season for the Angels is just so good. Vlad Sr., Pujols, Trout, Ohtani, and Joe Adell. Byron Buxton. The Twins have not been known historically as a tremendous, stat accumulation team, all-time great season team on the offensive side, at least not particularly in recent baseball history. Byron Buxton is the second player, just the second, in Twins franchise history to produce a 30-homer, 20 stolen base season, joining Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett, who did so in 1986. Yep. Carson Kelly.
Holy
That's
shit.
it, man. The whole franchise history. That's it. Carson, and that's 30-20. Like, that's a great season, but it's not like some crazy shit that we never see. Carson Kelly, who has been in a brutal slump like a lot of the Cubs offense, had 2 homers off of fastballs on Sunday. Prior to Sunday, he had not homered off of a fastball since May 24th. So Carson Kelly was one of the great catching offensive stories of the first couple of months of the season. Maybe he's back, folks. Trey Turner over the weekend hit the 15-homer, 30 stolen base mark. That's his 5th season with 15 and 30. That's tied for the 6th most such seasons by any player in MLB history. Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds. That's so cool that it's Barry and Bobby Bonds with 9 standing alone. Ricky with 8, Joe Morgan with 7, Abreu with 6, and then Jimmy Rollins and Alfonso Soriano join Trey Turner with 5. Bubba Chandler, yikes. The showdown between The Miz and Bubba was... Yeah, that sounds like a wrestling match, doesn't it? The Miz versus Bubba. Yeah, it was a one-sided wrestling match. The Miz was awesome. Bubba was terrible. Still very promising and much better than I am, but not good in this start. First Pirates pitcher to allow 9 earned runs in a start of fewer than 3 innings pitched within the first 4 games of a career since Bronson Arroyo on June 23rd, 2000. So If we look up in 20 years, and Bubba Chandler went on to a great career spanning the Reds and the Red Sox, we'll know why that happened. Bronson Arroyo connection. Most homers from age 26 to 30 in MLB history. Shohei Ohtani hit 2 more over the weekend. Well, 2 more on Sunday. That's 226 now. That's the 4th most ever over that age span, behind only Griffey with 249, Sosa with 241, and Ryan Howard with 229. Julio Rodriguez is the only outfielder in Major League Baseball history to have multiple 30-homer, 25 stolen base seasons through age 24. And Dallas, would you believe that the only players to ever do that, regardless of position, both are currently stars in the present-day game? Bobby Witt Jr. is the only other one. So we are very blessed, obviously, as you already knew, in this era of baseball. Joe Ram, shout out to Cleveland. Joe Ram broke a tie with Jim Thome for the 2nd most RBI in Cleveland franchise history at 938 since RBI became official. So shout out to Joe Ram on that one. Continuing on, Hunter Green is the first pitcher in his Reds pitcher in his age 26 season or younger to produce 3 starts of 12 or more strikeouts in a single season, since Gary Nolan had 4 in 1967. And the NL pitchers age 26 or younger in the wild card era to have 3 or more starts of 12 or more strikeouts and no more than 2 walks in a single season. Green, Strider, Burns, Jose Fernandez, Mad Bum, Lincecum, PV, Sheets, Pryor, Pedro, and Nomo. Clayton Kershaw said this was coming. He notched his 10th win on Sunday and has an ERA plus of 128. This would be his 12th season with 10 or more wins and an ERA plus of 125 or better. That is tied for the 2nd most ever. Only Roger Clemens has more such seasons. Greg Maddux and Lefty Grove also have 12, or would also have 12. Kershaw needs to finish the season with his ERA intact, but we are all confident that he can do so. Corbin Carroll, just an amazing. If you play fantasy baseball, Corbin Carroll, I mean, right up there for the very best players in the league. 30 home. Yeah, he's a great player in real life too, but 30 homers, 25 stolen bases, and 15 triples. The only outfielders to ever have such a season, Carroll this year and Willie Mays in 1957. That's it. Here's a Pursuit of Round Numbers Club update. Kyle Schwarber is 1 home run away from the 50 homer, 10 stolen base club. And would you believe he would be the 13th member of the 50-10 club and the 3rd oldest member to join. He's in his age 32 season. Younger than only Barry Bonds in 01 and Brady Anderson in 1996. We are not trying to insinuate anything about Kyle Schwarber with those names. Shohei Ohtani is 2 homers and 3 stolen bases away from the 50-20 club. Not quite the 50 club from last year that Shohei did, but still 50-20 is pretty good. Juan Soto, 2 homers and 1 stolen base away from 40 homers and 30 stolen bases. He would be only the 13th player in MLB history to produce a 40 homer, 30 stolen base season. Just crazy, the counting numbers that he's racking up right now. Jazz Chisholm Jr. is 2 homers and 3 stolen bases away from 30-30. Joe Ram is 3 homers and 3 stolen bases away from 30-40. And the slowest 30-30 pursuit of all time. We have grinded to a complete halt here, but we still maintain watch. PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, remains 2 homers away from the 30-homer, 30 stolen base club. Come on, Pete. You can do it.
I haven't heard PCA's name in 4 months, it feels like. Dude, like, I was being force-fed PCA, and I'm here for it because I fucking love the dude. Absolutely love his game. Love it. But did he go into the witness protection program?
Buddy, maybe you haven't been on the pods where I've been doing it, but like he had like one of the worst Augusts of all time. Like it was, it's been unbelievable. He's hitting 183 with a 493 OPS and 1 homer since the beginning of August.
I haven't gone. Oh, hold 32 on. Say games. That again. I'm sorry. You're kind of fucking rattling my core right now. 1 homer, 3 stolen bases, 183, 493 in 32 games and 124 plate appearances since the beginning of August.
He has made basically no progress on this.
I would tell you could cut his legs off and he could do that in a month.
It's crazy because it's such a polarizing thing too, because like, you obviously like all the tweets at the beginning or all the commentary about him were like crazy success, right? And deservedly so. And then all the stuff lately has been like maybe the worst offensive player regular in baseball, for the last month and a half, month plus or whatever. And, the responses you get are, well, it's still a 6-win season. Well, he's still like a down ballot MVP. And like, that's absolutely true. But like at some point, like the bar does change, right? And like you set a standard and it's like, yes, we all knew PCA would regress. And like, if he gets a 30-30, it's still a successful, like an amazing season. And he's been the Cubs' best player and all of that. But like, if you're a 6-win player in late June and you're a 6-win player in early September, like that does kind of change how the conversation of your season goes.
Yeah. Well, you've essentially taken 2 months off.
Yeah. And I know his defense and all of that. And I'm simplifying the thing because it's not like he's made no progress in a month and a half. He's still, you want him out there, even if he's literally making no contact every day. But,
and something to remember too is he is playing more baseball than he's ever played in his life.
For sure. So,
and it's, as this long season wears down, so do players. And I think as much as we're kind of asking, where have you gone, Pete Crow Armstrong, along with Joe DiMaggio, we know that this is going to be about him getting used to what the rigors of a full season at his level of productivity means and what it means in terms of the toll it's taking on his body. So I can understand that there has been a lull in production. I think a lot of it has to do with probably just the wear and tear and the rigors of the season and some adjustments that have been made to him that he's been a little slower making the second time around. But a guy who was in the MVP conversation early and for a long time for a good reason has just kind of there's no other way to put it, has just kind of fallen off. So hopefully things change for him and for the Cubs as we get closer to the end of this thing. Is that it? Is that your final thoughts?
That's what I got, man. That's what I got.
Is the notes? Right on. My final thought is one of the most heartbreaking and unfortunate unfoldings of what could have been a historic moment with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound. You've got the no-hitter in your hand. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. But no. Jackson Holliday would step up. He of the soon-to-be big league Holliday brothers, as soon as Ethan makes his way up there, hits a ball to right center. Yeah, right. And a lot of folks, Jay, and I don't know how you felt about this. I think you could probably guess how I felt about it from a pitcher's perspective. Saw Andy Pages play the carom as opposed to make a play or try to make a play. And am I ignoring any and all other potential variables that led to him not making this play? Yes, I am. Get your ass back there, throw a hat, throw a glove, throw your body into the wall, do something that shows me you have an idea of what's going on and you fucking care about it. Just give me something, right? Like I've had several of my teammates who have watched balls that they had zero chance at catching give me the courtesy jog and go up to the wall. And this is them kind of being assholes to me, jumping like they were going to rob it. I mean, that ball's 80 feet out of here. What are you doing? But you couldn't even, just get to the wall, just do something. Fuck, it's a no-hitter. It's a no-hitter, Jay.
I understand. I even saw like some breakdown about like why Pages couldn't have done anything or something like that. And like, I respect all the physics and, the angles on it, but I'm with you. Like if a courtesy, right?
Just
some fake hustle even.
And
like, I know he wasn't in a position to do this, so it's unfair to invoke the name, but I just, in that moment, what I
Dwayne Wise.
Yeah, I did. That's kind of what I thought about. And I was like, that is like, again, one of the coolest moments I've ever seen in watching baseball in my life. And I have nothing to do with the White Sox and all of that. And, could he have created that moment for himself and the Dodgers and Yamamoto? Almost certainly, like, no is the answer. We don't even have to like really pretend. The answer is no. But did I want to see him make a fake effort to do so? I definitely did.
Yeah. Yep. So did I. Yeah. The Dwayne Wise. I mean, I have thoughts of sending Dwayne Wise a thank you card every year just because of how fucking incredible that play was and what it meant, what it did for Burley and the Sox that day. So yeah, tough one. And even tougher that they were not only winning the ball game and had a no-hitter in the palm of their hand, but the no-hitter went away. So did the win. Just a lot of bad shit happened in about 5 minutes for the Dodgers. So,
and nobody wants to feel badly for Yamamoto after the game either. It's like, oh, we lost the game, so just like fucking move on. It's like, well, wait a second. Ah, fuck. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we can't even give a little love to Yamamoto. Nope. Hang with him. All right. Well, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy your Monday. We got a full slate of baseball. Good week. It is coming down to crunch time. September is when the race heats up. September is when we start to see September, put it like this, for baseball, through the human gestation period, we're right at about 8 months or so. And maybe for some of those who are privy to early arrivals, what you're dealing with is baseball starting to dilate a little. And once we get in to the latter part of September and October, that's where the legends and the stars of our game are born. That's where they start to breach. We see a crown, and we got legends being born in the end of September and through October. So hang with your team, even if they're not making a push into October. Don't be a fair weather fan. You've only got 18 games left. Hang in there. And if you're not going to the postseason, sorry about it. Maybe next year. We will see you Wednesday. Correct? Wednesday.
With Hosmer, I think.
That's right. We will be joined again by World Series champion Eric Hosmer. So tune in for that. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. And we out.